You just spent $40 on a toy your toddler played with for 11 minutes before abandoning it for the cardboard box it came in. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. Your child wasn't being difficult. Your child was being brilliant. And what I'm about to share with you today might be the most important thing you hear as a parent of a child under 5. Because the research on early childhood development reveals something that goes completely against everything the toy industry wants you to believe. And once you understand it, you will never look at playtime the same way again. I've spent years studying how young children actually learn, and the answer keeps pointing to the same uncomfortable truth. We are accidentally getting in our own way. We buy more, schedule more, entertain more, and in doing so, we are quietly stealing something irreplaceable from our kids. But here's the good news. What your child actually needs costs almost nothing, and it's sitting right in your home already. Let's start with a question that should make every modern parent pause. Why is it that children who grew up generations ago with no screens, no battery-operated learning gadgets, no color-coded developmental kits, often grew up to be incredibly creative, emotionally tough, and socially sharp? We look back and say things were simpler then, but simplicity wasn't the problem. Simplicity was the solution. Kids turned rocks into imaginary food. They built entire worlds out of dirt and sticks. They invented games with no instruction manual, no app, and no adult standing over them explaining the rules. They weren't bored and broken. They were thriving. And this is not just a romantic look back at the past. This is what developmental neuroscience is now confirming. The human brain, in its first 5 years of life, is doing something absolutely staggering. It is building neural connections at a pace it will never match again for the rest of a person's life. We're talking about 1 million new connections every single second during those early years. Every single second. The architecture being laid down right now in your child's brain is going to influence how they think, feel, problem solve, and relate to others for decades. That is the window we're working with. And what does the brain need most during this critical window? Not structure, not lessons, not light-up toys that count to 10 in 3 languages. The developing brain under 5 is wired to learn through open-ended, child-led, imaginative play. Play where there is no right answer. Play where the child sets the direction. Play that surprises even the child themselves as it unfolds. That is where the deepest learning happens. So what are we actually doing when we hand over a toy that has one correct way to use it? A toy that makes the sound when you press the right button, that rewards the expected behavior, that essentially tells the child what the next move is. We're limiting the brain. We're filling in all the blanks for them before they ever get a chance to think. And the brain doesn't grow in the absence of challenge. It grows when it has to reach, figure out, create, and try again. Now, I want to be absolutely clear about something before we go further. If you've spent money on toys, if your living room looks like a toy store exploded in it, this is not a guilt trip. You bought those things out of love. You wanted to give your child something wonderful. That impulse is beautiful. But love alone doesn't wire a brain for resilience. Experience does. And the most powerful experiences for a child under 5 are surprisingly low tech. So what should you actually give your child instead? Here are 5 things, and none of them require a trip to the store. The first thing to give your child is space. Not perfectly curated space, not an aesthetically designed Montessori corner from Pinterest, just safe, flexible space where your child is free to move and explore. It doesn't have to be big. A section of the living room floor, a backyard patch, a corner with a mat. The point is that space communicates something to a child's nervous system. It says, you are free here. You are not being directed here. And that freedom is the starting pistol for imagination. The second thing is time. Uninterrupted, unscheduled, unhurried time. This is actually one of the rarest gifts in a modern childhood because we have filled every hour. There's a class, a lesson, a play date, a structured activity. We have become terrified of the empty hour. But the empty hour is where childhood lives. And here's the thing about boredom that will completely reframe how you see it. When your child comes to you and says they have nothing to do, their brain is not in distress. Their brain is on the edge of invention. Boredom is the pause right before creativity catches fire. Don't rescue them from it. Let them sit in it for a moment. To give your child is what developmental experts call loose parts, but I'd describe them more simply as interesting junk. Cardboard boxes, wooden spoons, empty containers, old scarves and fabric scraps, cardboard tubes from paper towels, a collection of smooth rocks, pots and lids, pieces of ribbon. These materials share one magical quality. They have no instructions. There is no right way to use them. A cardboard box is a spaceship, a house, a boat, a drum, a bed for a stuffed animal, and then 10 other things your child will think of that you never would. The open-endedness is the whole point. It demands that the child decide. And that decision-making, repeated hundreds of times across thousands of play sessions, is literally building executive function in real time. The fourth thing is trust. And this one is genuinely hard for parents because it requires us to hold back when every instinct says to step in. When your child is struggling to stack blocks and they keep falling, the loving impulse is to help. But the more powerful thing is to wait. Let them struggle a little. Let them feel the frustration and then push through it. Let them try the approach that doesn't work, figure out why, and try differently. Every moment you step back and let them work through something, you're sending a message directly to your child's developing sense of self. It says, "I believe you can do this." And that belief, absorbed over and over again, becomes confidence. The kind of confidence that isn't fragile because it was earned. The fifth thing, and possibly the most powerful of all, is your presence. Not your performance, not you getting on the floor and directing the play and making it more exciting, just you, nearby, calm, available. Reading on the couch while they play, sitting in the garden while they dig, watching with genuine interest when they show you something. Your regulated, calm presence does something remarkable for a child's brain. It acts like an anchor. Children regulate their own nervous systems by co-regulating with the adults around them. When you are calm and present, your child's brain learns to be calm. And that calm is the soil in which creativity, focus, and emotional intelligence actually grow. Now think forward 20 years. Think about the kind of adult these experiences are building. A person who can sit with a problem and work through it creatively. A person who doesn't need someone else to tell them what to do next. A person who has a high tolerance for uncertainty because they spent their childhood inventing solutions rather than following instructions. A person who knows how to feel big feelings without being destroyed by them. These are the qualities we say we want for our children, and they don't come from toys. They come from this. From space, time, loose materials, trust, and your quiet, consistent presence. Here's the question I want to leave you with, because I think it's the most clarifying question you can ask yourself as a parent. Instead of asking, "What toy should I buy my child next?" ask this: what kind of adult am I building right now? Because every choice you make in these early years, every time you hand them a screen instead of a cardboard box, every time you rush in instead of waiting, every time you fill the silence instead of letting it breathe, you are making a deposit into the architecture of a future person. Toys will entertain your child for a few minutes on a Tuesday afternoon. But freedom to explore, the permission to be bored, the experience of figuring things out, and the knowledge that you believe in them, that builds a human being for a lifetime. If this landed with you today, share it with one other parent, because the future we want for our kids doesn't start on a store shelf. It starts on the floor, with nothing but a cardboard box and a child whose imagination has finally been given room to run. Don't forget to grab the free download below. It turns today's insight into a simple step-by-step you can use in the moment.